On a quiet summer evening in a small village in Pakistan, a young British woman's life came to a sudden and mysterious end. Found lifeless at the bottom of a staircase, her body bore subtle yet troubling signs that hinted at something far darker than an accident. Her father called the police, claiming it was a tragic fall, but inconsistencies in his account raised questions that couldn't be ignored. What happened in those final moments? Why did her plans to return to her new life abroad abruptly stop? And who among the people she trusted most held the answers to her untimely death? This is the story of Samia Shahid, a story shrouded in secrets, betrayal, and a fight for justice that would span continents. Samia Shahid was born on November 15, 1987, in Bradford, West Yorkshire, United Kingdom. This city, the sixth largest in England, is known for its diverse population, particularly its thriving South Asian community. Among the residents was the Shahid family, originally from a small village called Pandori in Pakistan. Samia's parents, Chowdhury Mohammed and Imtiaz Bibi, had moved to the UK in search of a better future for their family. Samia grew up in Bradford alongside her sister, Madia. The girls navigated a dual cultural identity, blending the traditions of their Pakistani heritage with the modern realities of British life. The Shahid family was well known locally, not only for their size but also for their various businesses. Chowdhury Mohammed and Imtiaz Bibi ran a limousine and car rental service, while other family members owned shops, including a fish and chip takeaway and a flower shop. Samia loved her large extended family, often spending time with her many cousins, nieces, and nephews. A cheerful and spirited girl, Samia had a special bond with her father, whom she adored. Chowdhury Mohammed's influence was strong in her life, and she often prioritized his wishes above her own. Despite living in a Western society, the Shahid family maintained deep ties to their Pakistani culture and Islamic faith. They followed Sunni Islam, which shaped many aspects of their daily lives. For instance, while Samia loved the thrill of driving fast cars, it was an activity her family disapproved of. Still, she found ways to indulge in it secretly. By 2012, Samia was 25, and her parents decided it was time for her to marry. In keeping with cultural traditions, they arranged for her to wed Shakil, a cousin from their ancestral village. Although Samia had grown up viewing Shakil as more of a brother than a romantic partner, she agreed to the marriage out of respect for her family's wishes. Her compliance was a reflection of the value she placed on family approval, even at the cost of her own happiness. The wedding preparations were lavish. Samia's father spared no expense, ensuring she had everything she desired for the occasion. Despite her outward enthusiasm for the ceremony, Samia confided in a friend that she felt as though she was making the biggest mistake of her life. Her sister, however, later claimed that Samia had willingly chosen Shakil from several suitors, emphasizing the difference between an arranged marriage and a forced one. The wedding, held in Pandori, was a grand affair attended by over 1,000 guests, including many from Bradford. Following the ceremony, Samia and Shakil moved into a house gifted by her father, located near the family home. However, Life in the village proved challenging for Samia, who struggled to adapt. After 4 months, she returned to Bradford alone, ostensibly to handle immigration paperwork for her husband. Yet, she delayed the process, and her friends noticed a change in her demeanor. Samia seemed distant, harboring a quiet resentment toward her parents. The marriage had been formalized in Pakistan through a nikah, a traditional Islamic contract. However, without a civil ceremony in the UK, it wasn't legally recognized there. This gap in formal documentation highlighted the contrast between the cultural and legal dimensions of Samia's life. While she had complied with her family's expectations, her actions and emotions suggested a growing tension between her own desires and the obligation she felt toward her heritage. Samia Shahid's demeanor drastically changed when her husband, Shakil, became the topic of discussion. She confided in close friends about feeling suffocated under his watchful gaze, even while living in another country. Despite the physical distance, Shakil demanded constant communication through daily Skype video calls and frequent updates. This overwhelming control left Samia feeling trapped. In August, she sent a distressing voice message to a friend, confessing she hated her life, wished to die, and no longer wanted to remain married to him. Her family, however, painted a different picture. Relatives in Bradford claimed Samia often boasted about her extravagant wedding and seemed content in her marriage. They questioned why she would voluntarily return to Pakistan if she were unhappy. These conflicting narratives hinted at deep fractures in Samia's marriage that remained hidden from public view. After living with Shakil in Pakistan for 6 months, Samia returned to the UK. Upon her arrival, friends noticed a remarkable change. She was back to being the cheerful, sociable Samia they once knew, and there was a reason behind her renewed joy. During her time away, Samia had met Syed Mukhtar Kazim, also known as Ali. Ali, a Pakistani man with British citizenship, worked in Dubai. Their initial connection began online and blossomed into a close friendship. In October 2013, they met in person in London, and their bond deepened. Ali embodied the qualities Samia longed for in a partner: kindness, understanding, and mutual affection. For both, their love was worth any risk, despite the threats and dangers they faced. Samia opened up to Ali about her struggles, detailing how she felt trapped in a marriage arranged by her family to a man she viewed as a brother. Ali was horrified, unable to understand how a loving father could turn his daughter into what he saw as a pawn in familial negotiations. Determined to build a future together, Samia knew she needed to end her marriage with Shakil. However, since their nikah marriage was conducted under Sharia law, she could not seek a divorce through British courts. Instead, she approached the Islamic Sharia Council in the UK. In May 2014, Samia officially requested a divorce from Shakil, but he refused. Citing family pressure and coercion, she claimed her marriage was not consensual. After presenting her case, and following Shakil's refusal to respond, the cleric overseeing the process declared the marriage invalid. With the support of friends, Samia signed her divorce papers without informing her family, despite still living under their roof. Later that year, in September 2014, Samia and Ali married in a quiet ceremony. The event was intimate, with only a few trusted friends present. The same cleric who granted her divorce officiated their nikah ceremony, and the couple also registered their marriage at the UK Registry Office. For Samia, the day felt like a fairy tale. She told a friend she had never been happier. However, their joy was short-lived. In October 2014, while walking with a cousin, Samia was ambushed in an alley and beaten with metal rods. The attack seemed premeditated, targeting her legs and leaving them covered in bruises. Although the incident was reported to the police, Samia suspected the assault was linked to her family's discovery of her new marriage. When she called her parents from the police station to inform them, she was met with verbal abuse rather than support. The officers overheard the exchange, witnessing firsthand the toxic environment Samia endured at home. Living under constant scrutiny and pressure, Samia felt trapped in a web of familial expectations and cultural values. Meeting Ali offered her a glimpse of a different life, one where she could make her own choices. Yet, escaping her family's control and the constraints of tradition came at a significant cost, one she was only beginning to realize. Samia's secret marriage to Ali gave her a newfound strength to persevere. It wasn't until May 2015 that her parents discovered she had divorced Shakil, and their reaction was one of outrage. They refused to accept the validity of the divorce, claiming that the Islamic Sharia Council held no legal authority in either the UK or Pakistan. To them, Samia was still married to Shakil. Her mother was particularly vocal, frequently berating her daughter and accusing her of disgracing the family. As tensions mounted, Samia and Ali knew their safety was at risk if they remained in Bradford. Stories of honor-based violence loomed large, and the couple decided to act quickly. With help from a few trusted friends, Samia secured a visa for Dubai and quietly purchased a ticket. The moment her documents were ready, she left for Dubai to reunite with Ali. Leaving her family was a heartbreaking decision, but for the first time, she chose her happiness over their approval. Upon her departure, Samia's parents reported her as missing to the police, refusing to acknowledge her independence. When they discovered her second marriage, they dismissed it as illegitimate, labeling her relationship with Ali as adulterous under Muslim law. Enraged, they confronted the cleric who had officiated Samia's marriage to Ali, demanding explanations and even issuing threats. The cleric reported the threats to authorities, who advised him on safety precautions. Meanwhile, in Dubai, Samia flourished. She embraced a life filled with love, freedom, and new beginnings. She shared her joy openly on social media, expressing her happiness with Ali and her dreams of starting a family. Samia yearned to be a mother and envisioned raising her children in the UK, where she had spent most of her life. Despite the joy of her new life, she couldn't completely sever ties with her family. She spoke to her parents often, trying to bridge the gap and seeking their acceptance of Ali. Above all, she wanted her father to see Ali as a worthy husband and part of their family, but her hopes were met with resistance. Her father remained adamant. He refused to acknowledge the marriage and even called Ali, asking him to leave Samia. Ali stood his ground, asserting that Samia was his wife and that he would not abandon her. For the Shahid family, Samia and Ali's actions had tarnished their honor. The marriage, conducted without their consent and outside their faith, became a source of shame in their community. In June 2016, tragedy struck when Samia learned that Shakil's mother, her aunt, had passed away. Overcome with grief, she considered traveling to Pakistan for the funeral, but ultimately decided it was too dangerous. Her husband Ali strongly advised against it, and she reluctantly agreed. Soon after, Samia received troubling news about her father's health. During a phone call, her mother and sister told her that their father's condition had worsened significantly due to his diabetes. They claimed he might not have much time left. Torn between fear for her safety and love for her father, Samia decided she couldn't stay away. She couldn't bear the thought of her father passing without saying goodbye. Despite Ali's objections, Samia made up her mind. Her sister had already arranged her flight, and Ali, though distraught, reluctantly supported her decision. On July 14, 2016, Samia boarded a plane to Pakistan. Assuring her husband she would be safe and excited to reunite with her family, she left with hope and love in her heart. It was a bittersweet farewell, and as Ali watched her go, he couldn't shake an overwhelming sense of dread. Before boarding her flight to Pakistan, Samia sent a chilling message to a friend saying, "Pray that I return alive." While in Pakistan, she kept in regular contact with Ali, reassuring him that she was safe. She spent her time with her family and, on July 18th, visited her aunt's grave with her father. The following day, she told Ali about her father's declining health and responded to his concerns about a bad dream he had by asking him to pray for her safe return to Dubai. Samia planned to fly back in 2 days, but on July 20th, she stopped responding to messages. Ali's texts went unread, and her sudden silence deeply alarmed him. That evening, a distraught man called the Pandori police station, reporting the death of his daughter. When police arrived at the scene, they found Samia's lifeless body at the bottom of a staircase. Her shoes were scattered nearby, her handbag lay at her feet, and her face was covered with a black scarf. Her eyes were closed, and foam was visible around her mouth. The man, identified as Samia's father, explained to the officers that his daughter had been living in the house with her husband, Shakil. He claimed she had fallen down the stairs. When police asked about Shakil's whereabouts, Muhammad shrugged, saying no one had seen him since Samia's death. Shortly after, Samia's mother and sister arrived in Pakistan, having been informed of her death. An autopsy was promptly conducted, and her body was handed over to her family for burial. Following Muslim tradition, Samia was buried on the same day. Since the initial police report noted no visible injuries or signs of violence, her death was not considered suspicious. Reports soon circulated with conflicting accounts of how she died. Some claimed she suffered a heart attack or asthma attack, while others suggested she fell down the stairs and broke her neck. Local news outlets speculated she had committed suicide due to depression over not having children, though her family denied this. Ali, meanwhile, received a call from one of Samia's cousins, who told him she had died of a heart attack. Refusing to believe it at first, Ali thought it was a cruel joke or an attempt to keep her in Pakistan. He quickly booked a flight to Pakistan, but upon arrival, the devastating truth set in. Samia was gone. Ali immediately went to the Pandori police station and reported his belief that his wife had been murdered. He shared details about her divorce from Shakil, her secret marriage to him, and the animosity it had caused within her family. Ali's revelations caused the police to reconsider Samia's death, suspecting it might be an honor killing. However, with Samia already buried, further investigation stalled. News of Samia's mysterious death soon reached England. When approached by a news channel, her father maintained that his daughter had been happily married to Shakil and denied Ali's existence entirely, calling him a blackmailer. Meanwhile, Ali obtained a copy of Samia's autopsy report, which painted a chilling picture. It revealed a reddish-brown bruise around her neck with the cause of death listed as strangulation. Additionally, male DNA was found in her body. Ali suspected the local police had been bribed to initially dismiss the true cause of death. Outraged, Ali held a press conference in Pakistan, sharing photographs of the bruise on Samia's neck and demanding justice. His actions brought media attention to the case, but they also put him in grave danger. As death threats poured in, Ali required 24-hour police protection. Back in the UK, Samia's friends mobilized to ensure her story was heard. They contacted a member of parliament from Bradford, seeking her help in uncovering the truth behind Samia's death and bringing those responsible to justice. The tragic story of Samia Shahid took a significant turn when a member of parliament intervened, writing directly to the Prime Minister of Pakistan. She boldly labeled Samia's death an honor killing, prompting Pakistani authorities to initiate a thorough investigation. The investigation intensified when Shakil, who had fled the scene, was located 8 days later and brought in for questioning alongside Samia's father. During his interrogation, Shakil confessed to attempting to force Samia to annul her marriage to Ali and remain in Pakistan. He admitted he was furious at her for leaving him and for denying him the opportunity to move to the UK. On the morning of July 20th, he searched her belongings for her passport and return ticket, intending to prevent her from leaving. When he found nothing, a confrontation ensued. In a fit of rage, Shakil raped Samia, evidence of which was later confirmed by the presence of his DNA. When she tried to flee the house, he caught her, wrapped her scarf around her neck, and strangled her to death. Investigators believe that as Samia attempted to escape, she encountered her father, who signaled his approval to Shakil. Muhammad then held her legs as his son-in-law tightened the scarf around her neck, ensuring her demise. Muhammad later attempted to disguise the crime as an accidental fall. Despite the confessions and mounting suspicions, proving guilt in court proved challenging due to insufficient evidence. While Samia's death was officially ruled a homicide, the lack of concrete proof allowed both men to escape full accountability. In September 2018, after 2 years in custody, Shakil was released on bail. Even with his confession, it was deemed inadequate for a conviction in Pakistan's legal system. He later remarried a British Pakistani woman in 2019 and applied for a spousal visa to enter the UK, hoping to achieve the goal Samia had denied him. However, his visa application was rejected. Samia's father also faced legal battles. After 4 months in custody, he was released on appeal to the Supreme Court due to insufficient evidence. In January 2018, he died in a Lahore hospital from kidney failure at the age of 52. In October 2016, arrest warrants were issued for Samia's mother and her sister, but they managed to return to the UK. From there, her sister shared a completely different narrative. She claimed their family was progressive and never forced Samia into anything. According to her, Samia had frequently expressed dissatisfaction with her life in Dubai, accusing Ali of financial exploitation and showing evidence of a far from luxurious lifestyle. She believed these accusations not only destroyed their family, but also left them in poverty and disgrace. Despite the differing accounts, one undeniable fact remains. Samia Shahid was a young woman whose life ended prematurely, betrayed by those she trusted most. She deserved the freedom to make her own choices and learn from her own mistakes, but that opportunity was stolen. The men of the Shahid family, bound by their concept of honor and control, tragically failed to recognize that no one has the right to take another's life. Thanks for tuning in to Unreal True Crime. If you're intrigued by mysteries from around the world, check out our new channel, Latin Crimes, where we dive into the gripping true crime stories of Latin America. Don't miss out. Subscribe now for more thrilling investigations.